Alright. How's everybody doing? Okay. Today's gonna be kind of fun. I wanted to do a day where I just kind of go through like a bunch of my lessons that I like to do, starting from most beginner and then ending with least beginner. I'm just gonna do that over the next 4 hours. So yeah, I'll chop this up, make some YouTube videos out of it, and yeah, so if you don't catch it on the stream, don't worry about it. I will throw it up later. Alrighty, so I'm going to start off here with just if you've never played chess before. So if you've never played chess before ever, I would just start off by grabbing chess.com. So let's take a look here. I have a full screen version. Okay. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go here, chess.com, put it at any browser. And yeah, you're just going to open it up, go straight to play, and go play bots. This is where we're going to learn how to move the pieces. So the best one to play is probably Martin. This guy right here. Alright, so the cool thing about Martin is his whole job is to lose, and so it's like a nice way just to kind of see how the pieces move, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. And we'll be going over how all the pieces work. But for the first thing, I think it's always good to just kind of jump in, and you'll be on a device where you can kind of just tap the screen, and you can have it set up in the settings to have dots that can show you how they move. So this can be a nice intuitive way to kind of just jump into it on your phone and get started. I'll kind of break down how each piece moves on another bit. This was just an example of just kind of tapping through. So let me turn on the settings. So in the settings, you can actually have it so it'll show you what's allowed, show legal moves here. And so when you tap a thing, it'll give you some indicators on what you're allowed to play. So that can be really useful when you're just kind of like, oh, what does the knight do? Oh, he can jump over these things? Yeah, he can. So we're just gonna, it's usually good to bring either the king's pawn up 2 spaces to start, or the queen's pawn up 2 spaces to start. Those are the two popular ones. So the other thing that you're gonna wanna wake up is your, you wanna try to get all these pieces off the back row towards these middle squares. You know, this is the zone. I kind of think of it like a dartboard, right? Like this is like a square, like Minecraftian bullseye, right? And you're gonna try to throw all these pieces at this dartboard, right? We'll get to why that's important later. This is just moving pieces. Because I think the reason why people don't get started with chess is they just don't know where to start. You know, they don't know how to even begin to do it. So the other thing that's important, other than just going to the center of the board, is to get your king to the middle. So I like this move because it teaches the 2 ways that you could play. So your king, he's like a piece of glass, and the whole point of the game is to get to the king, trap him, and so that he can't go anywhere. So he wants to be as tucked away as possible, as hidden as possible. So to move him forward here is a really bad idea. So we can tap through our pieces, and we can see if there's anything we can take. And this one we can take right here, or this one we could take right here. So we're just going to take a piece since it's free and in the middle of the board. Okay, so now he's attacking my piece. So you can't actually use this to see if they're attacking you. So you will have to learn the responses. But the cool thing is that even if he takes your stuff, Martin is not designed really to beat you unless you make some super egregious errors. So you should be able to just flounder your way through and just tap away and find the right moves. So the basic principle though is that you want to try to migrate the pieces from the back row to the middle of the board, and then from the middle of the board towards the king, right? That's the goal. So I'm just going to ignore that this is in danger. I'm going to add another piece in the middle of the board. Okay. So now I have some cool ideas. I could probably attack this, or this is in danger. So, oh, this is a nice way to see the knight. So the knight is a fascinating piece. He can jump over pieces, and he moves in kind of this circle made of L's. So there's like a circle that he can see, and it's like a bunch of L's. So over 2, up 1, over 2, back 1, back 2, over 1. You're right. So he has to go 2 and then over 1, and he can't stop anywhere in the middle, and he doesn't take any of the pieces on his way. So this knight could go blop and jump right there and go right there. I think for right now, I'm just going to plop the knight in right here, keep him safe. So now, since the knight can jump, I could jump over here and snag this rook. And don't worry if you don't understand how any of the pieces work right now. You're like, hey, he hasn't taught me the pieces yet. Like, I know, I'm going to teach you the pieces in a second. I'm just showing you like a flow of a game, because sometimes when you just have the individual pieces on the board, it can get a little bit difficult to know how to go from a big pile of pieces to just one piece at a time. Because most of the time in a game, you're going to have a lot more than just one piece running around. So again, our goal is to get all of our pieces out and our pieces safe. So here, I could take the queen, but then the knight will take me back. That might be okay, because I already took a rook. So here's another rule. So when you're winning by pieces, so you can kind of tell, on the bottom it says that I'm up 8 pieces, 8 points. Oh, this is a good time to talk about this. So all the pieces and pawns have different values, right? The pawn is worth 1. So the knights and the bishops, they're both worth 3. The rook is worth 5, the queen's worth 9, and the king is at infinite value. So it doesn't matter how many pieces you've captured, if you checkmate the king, you win the game. So essentially, this doesn't have any real effect on the game, other than you can kind of measure if it's a good idea to trade or not using this currency, right? So if you're winning in pieces, so here I'm winning in pieces because after this move I took this rook for free. So now that they're offering to trade this queen, these are both worth 9 points. I can take the queen because even though they're going to take my queen, I'm going to be safe with the amount of points that I'm winning by. So, and again, the points aren't there to actually see who wins and loses. It's just a way to measure if it's a good idea to trade or not. So you can play the whole game and ignore that. And there's also exceptions to having to do lots of weird stuff. 1 second. Let's start throwing lots of pieces at this king. So now we're going to get all of our pieces into the game. That's kind of an essential skill. You don't want pieces sitting on their first square. What I like to say is, like, when the piece is starting off the game, it's like he's asleep in bed doing nothing. So you really want to take the time to move all your pieces at least once. You don't have to move all your pawns until later, but you do want to use all your pieces. It's super important. Alright, we'll just take this guy. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to surround the king with all my pieces. So all my pieces are working together to try to see the king. And I might even add in a little bit more. I think we're going to be going to one of my favorite checkmates here. Oh, he protected it. Good job, Martin. Well done. I still get to do it though. All right. Oh, very clever. Look at him. The little engine that could. Very good defense, Martin. So let's explain what's going on here. So this is the end of a chess game. The chess game is over when the king, so this rook, if we tap him, he can see in plus signs. So he can see all these squares. This rook can see all of these squares. And so between the two of them, with this and this, all the king squares are gone. The king can't take the rook because these pawns are protecting it. So this would be a checkmate or game over. So now that we kind of just did an overview of a game, I'll just play through it really fast. So at the beginning, we want to get to the center of the board. Again, imagine it like it's a little square dartboard with a bullseye, like this. And you want to just throw pawns, pieces into this area because this is going to be a really nice place to set up for to win. So you also, another tip, you don't want to move pieces over and over again. A lot of people will be tempted to just try to have one piece go do everything. This was a free pawn and I did take it, but here I could have taken it. Let's see, could I have? No, I couldn't. So here I could have taken it right away. But my priority typically isn't to take things at the beginning of a chess game. It's just to get all my, specifically my knights and my bishops. I really like to get those things off the back row because they just kind of get in the way. So you just get them out there and then get them looking at stuff. So now this bishop, he moves diagonally, he can see this square. This knight can see this square. Whereas when they're in their first square, they can't see so much. So, and then this is a great example of what not to do. Your king belongs in a castle. So we'll talk about castling in a second. You can basically move your king 2 spaces towards a rook. The rook jumps over the top, and then you get to move 2 pieces at once. I'll teach you how to do that and all the details behind it in a second. But even if you can't do that, you don't want your king towards the middle of the board. That's where all the pieces are going. So you want to be really careful to not do that. So here I didn't save my bishop because I thought it would be better just to attack with more stuff. And that's kind of my instinct. My beginning of the game, I just want to get all the stuff out as fast as possible. And then I try to migrate them towards the king like this. And then once I'm there, I'll either try to win the game by checkmating the king, or I'm going to look for free stuff. In this case, I would just take this. So here, I looked at my material, and I remember the pawns are worth 1, the knights and bishops are worth 3, rooks are worth 5, queen's worth 9, king's infinite. And I'm winning by 8 points right now. So that's a combination of these rooks and pawns that I've taken so far. So rook and 3 pawns. So if I take this queen and I lose my queen, it's a-okay because I have more stuff, and it'll make it so that it's less likely for a player to come back and win the game even when you're up material. Because queens are really strong. You can win the game with just a queen sometimes. So gotta be careful with those. So now I've used all my pieces, everything. So my king, this is the castling move I was talking about. Okay, so this is a really nice idea that you can do. Essentially, if your king has never moved before, your rook has never moved before, and there's nothing in the middle of them, then you're green to go to castle. There's a couple of other rules. Number 1, you cannot move that king. Number 2, you can't be passing through any danger. So nothing, let's say like this bishop, let's say this guy was actually here and could see this square, you would not be allowed to castle because it's like your king is walking past the bishop's attack. So that wouldn't be allowed. So here, if you've never moved your rook, never moved your king, you're not walking through danger or into danger, then you're fine to castle. But you cannot have moved that rook before, you cannot have moved the king. In short, there's a lot of things that can take away your castling, so you should do it as quickly as possible. That's what I would err towards. So now I just have pushed all my pieces towards the king. I'm trading off things that are blocking me from winning, and I'm even waking up my last piece to go help with the checkmate. And then this is the checkmate here. So again, checkmate because the rook goes in a plus sign. So this can see these directions. This rook can see these. So between these two, and then these pawns helping my rook stay safe, that's game over. So we're going to do a deep dive into each piece individually now. So we're going to learn how they all work. I'll switch my camera up here a little bit. All right. Okay. Goodbye, chess pieces. All right. So we're going to start the game off with just 2 kings. So this game, nobody can win the game because there's no pieces. And there's a couple of rules about where the kings are allowed to go. So the king is not allowed to, so the king can go any direction, forward, backwards, side to side, diagonally, right? However, if he's going to be going into danger, then those would be off the table. So here this king could go here. But now, since this king can see all those same directions, now these squares are off limits, right? So this king can never get close enough to this king for them to actually fight. Does that make sense? So the next thing you would need is you would need at least 1 piece. I think that the best one to learn next is probably the queen, because she's exactly like the king, only she can go as far as she wants. So same directions, just as long as there's nothing in her way, then she can go as far as she wants, moves in the star, like this. So if it was white's turn, then you'd be able to win the game immediately. The reason why is this queen can come all the way down this way, and then the queen can see the king. The king takes away these squares, and the game would be over. So let's add 1 more piece. So there's a couple ways to get out of check. One of them would be to attack the piece putting you in check. So let's say that this happened. Here it's not game over because we have a rook, and the rook goes up, down, side to side, right? So this rook here sees the queen, so this queen can be taken, and then we'd be safe. Now it's actually possible to win the game with just the king and the rook. We'll kind of go over how that'd be possible right now. So let's say it's white's turn, goes here, rook checks. So check just means that the king is in danger and has to move. So this king has to go some direction, can't go here or here, so this would be fine. These are all the safe options, and then these are the nopes, right? So you have to pick one. Let's just go towards the middle of the board because that's where you'll be safest. You want to stay away from the edge if they have a rook like this. That's where they're trying to get you. So it's kind of a tedious trick to do with 1 rook, because you're going to have to use your king and your rook together. The best one to actually start off with, this is what I used as a kid, is 2 rooks. So if you can win your games convincingly enough to at least have 2 rooks over at the game, or a queen and a rook, you can do this checkmate. I call it the waterfall. Essentially, what you're going to do is use the 2 rooks' ability to see this way, and they're going to leapfrog this direction and guide the king down the board to the edge. So we'll start with this move, and he'll start making his way towards the rooks. So here our rook is in danger, so we can't complete the leapfrog, so we kind of just do the typewriter trick, and we slide this over to the side, slide this over to the side, and then we continue our little trick. So now here would be the last move, and checkmate. So the cool thing about if you do the same trick with a queen, let's say that's like this, is when they march over to you, this is protected by this queen now. So now they can just walk down, and you just walk them, oopsie. And you just walk them into the corner. So I used this checkmate for many years. I think it's pretty good, pretty reasonable way to win a game. And all you need to focus on doing is trading off the material once you're winning. And you can do it with the queen, the rook, or whatever. The next one that you might end up with, let's say we're in a position like this, and there's just a pawn. And you'll be like, well, I only have a pawn left. There's nothing I can do. Well, the pawn has a magic power. If the pawn can make it all the way to the other side of the board, it can turn into a queen. The way the pawn functions is if it's never moved before, it can go either one space or it can go two spaces. If there's something in front of the pawn, like this pawn here, then both the pawns are frozen. The pawn cannot capture forward and neither can this pawn, right? However, if there's something diagonal from the pawn, diagonal forward, then it's allowed to capture. So here he can see this, so he'd be allowed to go there. He would not be allowed to go this direction because there's nothing here to capture. So here you can pick between the only one that you're allowed to do, which is to take here, and we can go like that. So pawns are not allowed to go backwards, they only can go forwards, and if they can make it all the way across the board, then you win the game. Well, you don't win the game, but you get a queen, which will make it far easier to win the game. So here would be what that looks like. Let's say this king is here and this pawn is here. Okay, so if this king, whoopsie. Let's say this king starts walking this way, tries to run and catch this pawn. Boom, catches it. Sad. Nothing good came of that. So the way you can tell if it's going to be okay is, let's say these moves happen. Count how many moves there are till this would get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? How many moves would it take for the king to catch up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we're going to be A-okay. Pawn up, king over, pawn up, king over, pawn up, king over. And then this can turn into a queen. So once we have a queen, we're going to, oopsie, not just snap the king off the board. We're going to, instead of doing what we did with the rooks where we just push the king around with checks, we're going to actually use all the queen's vision to trap the king in a cage. So this is a new cage for this king. He's not allowed to go past this line, right? Whereas if we checked him, now he's free to go wherever he wants. So here we're going to have the queen like this. We're going to stop all these lines. King can only go sideways or diagonal. Say he goes sideways. And then we can bring up the king. So in this spot, the king is taking away all the squares. Queen comes up. We remember this. And now the king is stuck on a single file line. This game will be very easy to fix. But let's just say that you keep making this box smaller and you forget about this little detail. So in this position here, the queen can see all these squares. The king is safe where he's standing, but he's not allowed to go anywhere because of the queen, right? So it would look like this would be a form of winning the game, but it's actually not. This is actually a type of tie. So there's several types of ties or draws in chess. One of them is this one, which is called stalemate. So here the king is not allowed to go anywhere, so essentially the game cannot continue, and so it just ends in a tie, even though one side has more pieces than the other. So make sure that you leave like a little bit of an air bubble for the king while you're trying to checkmate them, and don't take away all their moves or else the game will tie. So let's say we go like this, and ta-da. Checkmate, very good. So the other piece that's actually quite strange for people to learn is the knight. So the knight is super weird. Whenever he moves, like I said before, in like a circle, but of L shapes, right? So what he's going to be doing most of the time is jumping over stuff. That's his magic power. There's nothing to jump over in a board that's empty, but if there's a normal game, there'll be tons of pieces everywhere, and so he'll be able to jump over all of those. Yeah, every time you move, you will alternate colors. And so it can be kind of confusing to get into a position where it'll be useful. And here, the knight's super cool, but he's not actually able to win this game by himself. He doesn't have the power that the queen has, or the rook has, where he's able to win, he would need at least one friend to help him. But it can't be another knight, because they're going to really struggle at getting this king stuck. The king would actually have to intentionally get stuck, which would look something like this. Oh man, it's so hard to make this one, because it's not technically a real thing. So yeah, so here he would have to willingly, so here he's in danger like this, but he can choose to go here, right? He can choose not to walk into the corner. So goes this way, knight jumps in, and so it's possible to win with two, but they would have to just know, if they know that the corner is the danger zone, they're not gonna go there. So 2 bishops you can win with. Bishops are super cool. They move in an X. The thing that's interesting about bishops is they are monocolor. They can only see 1 color squares throughout the entire game. So you have 1 white squared bishop, 1 dark squared bishop. And that can be interesting, because sometimes you'll be in situations where you only have a bishop and you can't see any of the pieces that are in play with if you only had 1, for example. Like I've had lots of games where all the pawns are like this or something, and let's say that I'm like cut off somehow. Yeah, and then I have this bishop, but I can't see any of his stuff because it's all on the wrong color. But if you had a second bishop, then you'd be fine, because you'd be able to switch here, basically make this pawn move, go get this pawn goes here, go here. Like, the bishops are a great pair. You kind of want, they're like a Mario Luigi situation. You do want to kind of keep both of them together. They get a little extra power if you have them. If you can't keep them, it's not the end of the world, but they do really well at the end of the game. So let me clear this. Okay. So let me go to so that's kind of an overview of the piece movement again, but we're going to go back to the bots, because I think this is just a really nice way, if you've never played, to, I'll go back to the window so you know what it looks like. I think this is just a really nice way to kind of just move around, get used to it. Any of these beginner bots should do. You can try to beat them all if you kind of want to challenge yourself. But a lot of people that I've known have a bit of performance anxiety when they're playing against people and they've never played before. They kind of want to get to at least some level of competency before they play with a friend. And we're going to talk about that in the next hour of the stream, just like when you're strong enough to start playing with friends and going to social things that involve chess. But we'll start it off with just the bots. So we'll play Martin again. So this is going to be a redo of the first game we did. So at the beginning, I'll kind of show you some good choices. So these are the this is the 3 Pokemon you can kind of choose from at the beginning of your chess journey that I think are worth looking at, with like honorable mention for Pikachu over here. Let's see, how do I do yellow? Is it control click? Yeah, okay, cool. So these are the 4 moves that you can choose from. I would, even though I called it Pikachu, I would honestly just choose between one of these 2. I think these are going to be the 2 best options to start your game. The King's Pawn going 2 spaces is going to be a very attacking game. The Queen's Pawn going 2 spaces is going to be a very controlled game. And there's nothing wrong with any type of game, really. If it's a solid position or a strong idea, it's going to be successful. So. But they do take a long time to learn. I would say that most people just moving e4 once is probably the best way to start. So the other thing that I would look at is trying to wake up all your stuff. Here he's giving us a free pawn. Well, not free, he can take back, but when you're first starting, I would just kind of take stuff when it's given to you and threaten things when you can threaten them. So here I can put my queen out. That could be very useful. So now the queen's come forward. I can wake up another knight. and I'll be able to see it. Learning how to see how knights can see lots of directions can be very difficult. So here, like learning to see this circle, like can take some time. A lot of people really like they'll usually do fine with these two. They'll be medium with these two, and they'll really struggle with these last four. So just remember that it's a circle, not a wiggly line, that you can do a lot of different things with knights. And my first priority is just waking up all my knights and bishops. So here, there's like a unique mistake that has been made. This king has a lot of his squares taken away by his own chess pieces. So I like to kind of use that to my advantage, and I'm going to move up a little bit. Maybe he'll stop it. Looks like he stopped the straight up win. That's good. Because if he had not moved this queen, this bishop here would be game over. The reason why is this knight could see this square, this queen would still be here, so yeah, I'll take a look. So basically if it was in this position here, the game would be over, right? So Martin dodged this. Good for you, Martin. We're just gonna wake up more pieces. I could have gotten a rook here, but I just want more stuff. This might be better. So I know I did that very quickly, I apologize. So step one, if you're playing the e4 game, you kind of want to aim at this square right here. It's the king's, bishop's, pawn. This pawn right here. The reason why is the only one defending this pawn is this king. So it's kind of a weak pawn, and you have a lot of pieces waking up when you play this opening, so you will very easily be able to line up lots of pieces on one square, which will make it very easy for you to take it for free. So if you're being defensive, you want to be mindful of pieces that are starting to heat up one of your squares or one of your pawns or pieces. And if you're being aggressive, you want to try to heat up your opponent's squares as much as you can, just with as many pieces as possible. So here, he had to do this move even though he's going to lose the queen, because he was going to get checkmated by this queen. So we'll take... Just keep waking up stuff. So this is a really nice one. So here, I'm using a lot of different pieces to get this checkmate. So my king got involved. So now my king is watching these squares. The bishop is watching this line here. The queen is going to be hitting the king after I move this knight. So this is a big combo of pieces put together. And that's what's really nice about playing this system by moving your king's pawn twice. If you move your king's pawn twice, what you're doing immediately is the queen can see a lot of squares and the bishop can see a lot of squares. And so it's just going to make you a lot faster than if you would say you moved this pawn. Then the queen can move out, but the bishop is still in the same place. Yeah, so this would be just a classic attack. So the game doesn't, you'll notice that there's still a ton of pieces on the board. The game isn't innately about taking all their stuff. It can get confusing to set up these types of checkmates, so if you do get stuck, you can just trade off all the pieces and do one of the checkmates that we showed from earlier. So you don't have to do these types of systems. you can just take some of their pieces and then trade if it gets too confusing. But I will show you a way to practice checkmates and learn to see these patterns so that it could be a lot less confusing. So if you can, this is a little price prohibitive, but I would recommend getting the premium version of chess. You can start with the free version, but one thing that you're able to do with the premium version is use this game review. What's nice about it is it's kind of like a free coach. It's going to go through all the moves that you played, and it's going to let you know the quality of the moves that you did. So I'll teach you the different qualities. Book just means it's like a known move that like we've played for a long time, and so it's not that you invented the move, it's just that it's the move that we all agree is good. And then usually when someone makes a mistake, the book will end. So now we're in a unique game where the queen does this, and so then the next thing you can do that's good after a book move would be a good move, which is, I consider them kind of like light mistakes. Best move or interesting move. Excellent moves and best moves are fine. Brilliant moves just mean you did something super fantastic. Excellent moves, a little less slow. But you can kind of, the more important thing when you're first starting is just avoiding the negative side of it, which is blunders, miswins, inaccuracies, mistakes. And this system will actually, so here would be an example of a missed win. This is the reason I did it was because I just felt that this was Martin and he wasn't going to be able to stop this. But you can try to retry it and see if you can find the best move here. Is it this? Yes. Oh, very nice. So there was a much more forcing way to get the same concept. I could go here, he would take. So you can learn what moves you could have done better even if you won the game. That's what's cool. So, and if you have the free version, I think you get one per day. But if you have the paid version, you are able to do a lot more. I think you have unlimited. So the next step after you've done these for a little while, and I would say you've beaten all the beginner bots, I would go to puzzles and go to puzzle rush and then do survival. So survival, you just have unlimited time and you're going to be dropped into a bunch of chess games where there's a correct answer. And a lot of these things we've actually probably talked about before. Remember we talked about how the queen can see this way, and if the rook was here, the rook could see that way. Well, that happens to be the answer to this first puzzle, right? So this is just going to give you a bunch of positions where you have to find the best move. And at first, you will make a ton of mistakes. You won't see these super quickly, or you won't see them at all. You might get like your first three just completely wrong, and that's okay. But this drill is good even if you are an advanced player. Like just running through a lot of different sequences and learning all the different patterns, trying to memorize them, can just be super healthy for your brain. Gets you in a much better position. Oh, I'm playing black. Yeah, because chess is mostly made up of these tactics. So tactics basically are memorized patterns that create desired effects. So in this particular case, we're trying to master our checkmate patterns and ways to win pieces that are so powerful that they're essentially like checkmates. And then eventually you will run into a wall and you will lose, and that's okay. And you might only do several of these, and that is also okay. The nice thing about the paid membership is you have unlimited number of tries of this. But the other thing is that you can also just do the free one once per day and just be very careful and check your work. So I'll do this one very slowly and kind of talk about how you would check your work. It looks like a forced checkmate because this bishop can see this square. So this king actually has nowhere to go. So if this knight takes here, the only move that's allowed is the pawn to take back. Pawn takes back, rook over, and then that's going to see the king nicely, and then I think between this and his own pawns, that's going to be game over. So we'll take here, rook comes here, and then that will be checkmate. So here, this is another good one. Chess has a lot of triangles in it, and triangles are very good at kind of showing you how pieces are working together. So everything can see this square. So if I go here, the king can't take because of the rook, and then it's game over. I don't really want to lose this rook here because he's going to win me the game. So we're going to bring up, so if you're in check, there's a few different options. You could take the piece, you could run away from the piece, or you can block the piece. In this case, we're going to block. This is a fun little checkmate. I use this one quite frequently. So rooks love being on the 7th rank. They love it. Just so you just like a side note, rooks love 7th ranks. They do super well. So let's take a look here. What do we got? If queen takes, king takes, and it's just a trade. So that doesn't look super spectacular. But then we'll have this check. Maybe that's good. I'm not super impressed. Let's keep looking. Oh, I see. If the queen takes, the king takes, the rook checks, we're going to be able to make this shape and attack this square. That's very nice. This looks like a very discovered check situation, so what'll happen here is this rook will be revealed. King is going to have to go here. Then we'll play here. King's going to have to go here, and then we'll be able to throw this in. So this bishop just needs to go on a little tour. Oh, interesting. Yes, I'd like to keep doing what I'm doing, and then that'll be over. And again, like when you're first learning these, like do not take the speed that I'm doing them as like a reference. I've been playing chess for a very, very long time, and even me trying to do them slow, some of these might take you a really long time. Like there'll be puzzles that I'll be doing on my the slower puzzles, which we'll get into in a second, that can take absurdly long periods of time, and sometimes it'll just be so obvious after you see it, it'll just make you sick. So here it looks like takes my queen. I get this nice little fork. A fork is a really good tactical idea. Basically means that you're attacking two things at the same time and they can't save both of them. So here I'm going to go takes. Next, here we are. All right. So we have rooks. What do we need here? White to move and win. Looks like this check's pretty strong, and then this seems pretty strong. Okay, so check. Check. Very nice. This looks like just a free mate in one turn. Very nice. So I don't want to get too into this. You get the idea. Just do it a lot, right? Makes sense. Try your best. You know, don't guess, don't hunt and peck. That's not what it's for. If you don't see it, don't make a move. If you think you see it and you make a move, that's okay. But I would definitely make sure that you can see into the end of the idea before putting a move on the board. So that's puzzles. If you've done all these things, you're probably not a beginner anymore. You learned how the pieces move. You started playing against the bots. You're doing chess puzzles. you're probably good to go play with your friends now, you know? So that would be the next move, is playing with real people. So the way that I would start doing that, same app, is I would just get comfortable hitting play, and the first time control I would probably play, if you're just starting, is a 10-minute. So you can switch between all these different time controls, between 1-minute games, 3, 5, 10, even like multiple days to make a single move. You can play any speed. I would just start with the 10-minute. That's about how long a normal game lasts, if you're just playing your friend. So this is going to be obviously a pretty tough game, but it'll just kind of get you a feel for what we're looking for here. I'm going to try to play a crazy gambit and see if he lets me. I need him to play his knight here. I'm still going to do the gambit. He can counter gambit me here if he knows it, but he doesn't. Gambit is basically you're getting rid of pieces on purpose, and you're gambling that they're not going to know where to put their pieces in time to get a huge advantage. So gambits, just like it sounds like, is a gamble. You probably shouldn't learn. I mean, you can learn gambits. I think you should learn them over time, but I wouldn't. They sound cooler than they actually function. Puts you at a pretty big disadvantage to play those types of things. Okay. And no matter what happens in the game, we're going to go over the procedure of what to do after your game. I don't really need these headphones. They just kind of put me in streaming mode. I don't have any music on or anything. Oh, I have multi. Let's see here. That doesn't really help me. I'm going to just start aiming at the king. Oh, that bishop move is strong. Then I just play here. Just waking up all my stuff. So you'll notice that so far I've attacked the center of the board, I've castled my king, I've used almost all my pieces, except for this rook here. So I still think that's like a pretty good way to play, no matter your level. It's pretty tough. Maybe bishop takes is safer. Oh, but then the rook's coming down. That's okay, because then I can load this trick. And that's coming in. Oh, I blundered my queen. Dupe, dupe. Very sad. Anyway. If I turn this into a magic trick, that would be so cool. Very difficult though. His bishop's coming out right now. Tricky game. Oh, interesting. I don't think that's correct. He's coming in to do this check. But I can just deflect him with this move. Because now that's over. This is, can't check me, can't do this check anymore. I think he might have messed up. Yeah, now he has 2 pieces in the way. Can't check me. I might be doing okay with my 2 little rooks. These 2 little rooks might be doing their thing. Yeah, they're being cute. Look how cute all these pieces are. Never give up. So one thing that I will say when you're in the social level of chess and you're just trying to get out to play your friends, whatever number the game gives you, don't worry about it. Like, I wouldn't even start considering the number as a real thing until you've played like 1,000 games. You technically need 30 games before the number means anything anyway. So, you know what I mean? I would just kind of dissociate from that being an issue. If I was you, I don't think it's worth it. If I go here, that's bad, right? Ooh, I can shoo him away with my bishop. How fun. Here we'll probably win some material. This might keep the mating threats going. I kind of want to keep the mating threats on the board. Did I just miss my shot? I might have missed it. That's okay. I think I might have overplayed my little hand here. Got too greedy. Typical. Oh, we're gonna get the queen now. We get the queen here. We're gonna win after losing our queen outright. What a wild game. Crazy stuff. Chess is weird. Alright, game review. If you have the paid account, always do game review. I just think that's really good for you. You will get a lot out of it. And at first I would just focus on trying to keep the book's moves rolling and let them be the first one to deviate. So I deviated first, so that's too bad. This is better. Good to know. Oh, it still likes my move. It thinks that this is healthy. Oh, but this was a miswin. I had to take the bishop. I had to take the queen. Yes, of course. But it still likes my game. But not anymore. This was bad. Here I had to play... What do I have to play here? Bishop takes. No. What's the best move? Oh, rook up. Silly. I did it a little late. Yeah, and then this was terrible. Got me into a draw. But then I fixed it. Okay. What an interesting game. So, essentially, what I would do is you'd keep doing the things we were saying earlier as far as doing puzzles. I would avoid playing bots if you want to start playing people. Just get more comfortable with the tension of dealing with playing other people. If you want to give yourself a quality of life, people are really mean on the internet, I would say, just as a default. So I would turn off your chats and stuff, because you're just going to have a bunch of random people just saying mean things to you. And it doesn't go away, whatever level you get to. I think it's just people are pretty rude when they're anonymous. So just make sure that you protect your peace and kind of just treat them like you're playing bots for the most part. Like don't engage too much with the actual people behind it, because it'll bum you out. And the next step is just you have to find a chess friend. You got to get a chess buddy that you're comfortable and happy to play with, that would be exciting and fun and enjoyable. And it has to be someone that you enjoy being around when they're winning and enjoy being around when they're losing. You know, like they have to be emotionally composed is more important than being at equal level. So if they're at a really high level, but you only win 1 out of 10, but when you win that 1 out of 10, they're cool about it, that's okay, right? That actually will help you faster than if you're around someone who maybe it's 50-50, but every time you win, you know, they're super bratty about it. I think that can be really exhausting. Depending on where you live, there's probably some type of chess meet or chess cafe or chess place that people do it. You can probably look it up in your area and see like, hey, where do people meet up to play chess? It's totally okay to go out to those. I think it can be really helpful. You will deal with a lot of the same people you deal with on the internet in those environments. So if you find yourself in an uncomfortable group of people, just find a new group of people, right? And start the social aspect of chess for yourself. I think that there's a lot of really fun social opportunities that can come from chess. A lot of people don't give themselves the full opportunity to grow chess-wise because they don't have community, or they feel frustrated by the experiences they've had so far with either people in chats on chess.com or just bratty people in public. It's better to get a bunch of your friends into chess and then you guys just play than play around a bunch of people who are good but aren't kind. So find a kind group of people in your area where you can play, and that's probably the best cultivation you could do to get started. So those are some other fun notes on social chess. Let's take a look. Well, let's just talk one more thing about getting better. So remember I said dissociate from the number on the screen. Don't look at the ratings that they're giving you and give them any mind. It's a complete waste of your energy. And I would just focus on your puzzle stuff. Oh, so we talked a little bit about puzzles that were talked about puzzles like Puzzle Rush, but now we're going to look at slow puzzles. So once you're wanting to be more social and not just do like the simple stuff, slow puzzles are great. So these puzzles you have to actually think about for a while. It's not going to be like the Puzzle Rush ones when you just like click on their king and then win with a queen or something like that. You're going to actually have to kind of think, figure out what the best strategy is here. This is coming together for me pretty quickly though. Like I feel that if I take here, it's a pretty forcing move. It has to take back. My bishop can see through the queen and an X-ray, and that'll be pretty useful. So just double check my work. Rook checks, king here, bishop here. Probably will have to take, so let's just do it. No! I was in Puzzle Rush mode. So if you miss it, either retry if you're a big boy or show the solution if you're lazy. Oh, you have to do that first. You have to do that first? Oh, because the bishop will come... Okay, so this is actually nice. One of the hardest things for the human brain to see, for some reason, this is true for beginners all the way up to grandmasters, is that pieces can go backwards. Remember I was saying that the knight moves are easy to see when they're going forward, but when there's a knight move that has to be backwards, you know, the brain just struggles to see these types of ideas. So, whoops. So, like I said, it's a slow puzzle. You're supposed to think about it for a while. I did it in 26 seconds, and that was the correct amount of time, but not the correct amount of looking for right answers. Well, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go here. I'm going to add a text. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of break time.
some time for myself. Always kept me safe, took good care of my health. Heart is kinda dusty, took it down from the shelf. Make me super grateful for the time by myself. Time by myself, oh. For the time by myself, time by myself, oh. Oh God, I've seen a lot to say. My heart, a frozen part of me. Fall in love like it would be enough, but when I open up, it's when they cut me off and they just wanna fuck. But all I want is love. Why do I feel the need to tap my heart on my sleeve? Keep it covered through the summer with an all black hoodie. Cover up all these scars with some LSD. Cover up my pain with a melody. so close, almost got a number, then she passed through a kaleidoscope. Never said goodbye, once again I'm home alone. Thank God I'm super stoned, lay in bed and I take another pill. Cry to melancholy songs, I wonder if she'll sing along. Disconnecting. Rain, rain, fall down on me. Disconnecting. Rain, rain, fall down on me. Rain, rain, fall down on me. Feel I'm kinda tired, need some time for myself. All this fucking pain isn't good for my health. Heart is broke again, put it back on the shelf. Make me super grateful for the time by myself. Time by myself. Oh, for the time by myself. Time by myself. Oh.
Yeah. Hello.
Dear Hermione Gildokala, Recent events over the past 2 weeks have made living next to your tenants impossible. The tenants were smoking marijuana on the steps in the back, just a few feet from my garage window. The smoke was going into my garage where I was working, and when I complained, your tenant, he jumped up, violently screamed at me, used the most offensive and obscene language anyone has ever directed at me. And smoke was going everywhere, out of his mouth and out of his nose, and I felt very threatened, and he looked and acted psychotic. His profanity was vile and disgusting, and I was very scared and traumatic. When I tried to point out the past issues that I addressed in my first letter, he denied them all, which means he is also very, very, very untruthful. No one should ever speak to anybody in this manner, especially somebody who lives next door. I can't forgive but not forget his hateful words. After this event, my wife went over to talk to them. We offered to pay for the installation of blinds, and even offered them to have an extra air conditioning unit. They ignored this attempt at a temporary solution and continued to act disrespectful, obnoxious, and party like a rock band. They fucking party like a rock band! On this past Monday night, September 29th, they had a loud party even though it was Monday night. I did not say anything till after 11:30 p.m. They mocked my request. They then continued to play music with loud conversation, all the windows open and several people on the back steps, even after I asked them to quiet down. They ignored me, and I eventually had to call the police 2 different times, and the party did not end until after 2 a.m. Tuesday morning. The night following the loud party, they had another music rehearsal until after midnight. I can hear them inside my house, even with my windows closed. There's always open. They're using the space to party and play and rehearse music. Usually this is done in a space soundproof and designed for such a purpose. It's called a lockout. It's called a lockout. It's called a lockout. It's called a motherfucking lockout. Doing this in an apartment within a dense group of houses occupied by hard-working families is highly inappropriate. It's highly inappropriate. Event 5. Last night, Wednesday, they had a rehearsal till after midnight. Again, 3 nights of disruption. This is a quiet, family-oriented neighborhood, and it's no place for a rock band. They constantly play music and have parties and smoke marijuana and have people coming and going at all time of the night and day. They have made no attempt to alter their behavior.
She said she want a man that would stay at home, someone to keep her warm by the TV glow. We used to fall asleep watching anime. She wanna say she's over it. She said she wanna stay, but she wanna go. Lay awake in bed and she wanna know. Look into my face and she wanna say, she gotta say, she only want esports.
All right. Let's get back in the flow. We'll stay on 10-minute because I think that that's still the best for people that are in their learning state. Be to play French. Nice. My chess teacher loved this opening. Not for white, but not this variation, but just the French in general. It was one of his favorite tools. What a crazy game. I don't think I've ever seen... I have a friend that I haven't played in like 8 years that used to play this 4-pawn thing. I don't know, I guess I was just thinking about him. That's how you know you played a lot of chess. When you're just playing openings because they remind you of people. Ouch. Oh, I lose. Oh, he missed it. Incredible. Maybe he saw it and he just didn't think it was good. Oh, now it is good. Oh. Yeah, it's good now. He just needed to wait. I think I'm fine. Just gonna keep throwing my stuff at the guy. He's gonna throw this bishop here. And I have this, but that's a little reactionary. I'm gonna do it anyway. Allow his move. Oh, my coffee. Forgot about my coffee.
Just sit back and recollect the time wasted.
I can survive this. No! Oh my god, what a blunder. Oh, chest blindness. That's crazy. Well, nothing to look at here. Probably resigning in the next 5 turns or so. I just get your rook in here. Yeah, nothing to do but shuffle pieces and wait to lose. I won the last game after hanging my queen, so my little bit of self-hope is a little overinflated right now. Yeah, but it's bad. Awful. The only chance is if I can somehow like dive in here, check here, maybe get rid of these pawns and get this bishop to do more than what it's doing. It's like the only thing I could see. Check is so brutal. Yes, yeah. Knight blocks. Yep, and then we can resign. What a great game though, at the beginning. Yeah, best move here is... Really? Oh, I guess that makes sense. What a fun punishment for this shape. It's good to know. That's not the right move. Just take it. Okay. what a hang. And then just shuffling until I lose. Okay. Okay, there's gonna push. Dupe? Right? That's like a free little dupe right there. What? Fuck me. Crazy. I can't believe I thought that that was something. That's a clip, how bad that is. Rough. Yeah, you're not supposed to trade, but you're not supposed to hang your queen either. Wow. Insane blindness. Wow. Alright. Let's go to my lowest rating. Just play some games. Don't think about them too much. Ooh, what a good combo. If takes, I get this check. This guy's in a classical position, in a very bullet position. Poor guy. Ended up getting quite bullety there. Practice what I preach. Gonna click it every game, you know. Even if I just do a quick little zip through. Oh, that was wrong. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's crazy. The blindness. Yeah, I really hope that streaming is going to help my endurance for chest blindness. Because I feel that when I'm playing over the board, I don't notice it as much because I'm so in the moment. But when you're on this, it's just the chess. And yeah, there's really nothing else going on to focus on. There's no social, it's just that one mistake, so it's really loud. So yeah, I think the best thing you can do while you're getting stronger or just learning is just be super duper nice to yourself. You can't be super hard on yourself while you're taking in this information. It's just too complicated. Not because chess is hard, but because the emotions of winning and losing, when it's entirely your fault, is difficult. Nice little volley. I hope I calculated that right. I think I did. I think I'm winning here. Heyo! How you doing? I gotta be careful. Maybe try to get this fork. Oh yeah, game's going good. We've been going for about 2 hours now. Just been doing lessons and playing little games. It's been nice. It's been chill. Just getting back in the streaming flow. Oh, I have to go clutch. We're gonna have to go fast. He got his draw. Oh, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want the draw. Now I had the draw. Very poor, very poor. It's alright. Yeah, my goal for today is just like trying to get a ton of games in, so the quality is not super important. Just trying to throw a bunch of games on the board, answer people's questions, get used to playing and talking again. It's weird because when I play chess normally, like I'm really quiet, so playing and speaking is a skill to be desired for sure. Yeah, just shuffle, 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 shuffle. Yeah, low time convert. Yeah, it's fine. It was all quite drawish. It was the last convertible point. Yeah, I don't think I'm converting that. Yeah, I mean, but this is like already where I was doing my trick. So I kind of just oversimplified. I just oversimplified. Not pretty, but yeah, multitasking, that's the grind, you know. That's being able to separate your brain, let your chess brain keep going while you're reading chats, answering questions. Super helpful. I think it's just good in general to have a good, quick multitask programming in your brain. Good way to train it. Also, I'm just going to use streaming to keep me more accountable on the chess work that I need to do anyway. So for the first while, it's not going to be about viewers or anything. It's mostly going to be for me. Then I have a good record of not just how I'm like playing, but how I'm responding to things going right or wrong. You can start to see what makes you emotional. Because I've just noticed that emotional chess is just so poor. At least for me. Some people are very, very good. Like, I know some people that are really good when they're mad. You know what I mean? Like, they get really mad and then they're just the best chess player in the world. But like, the fuck you watch this crowd. Those people always impress me because I'm so the opposite. Like, if I really want to show someone something, the odds of me playing well in that game decrease by like 90%. I need to be like have cool indifference. That's like the only way I can do my style. Cause I don't really like playing. I don't know what the right word for it is. Yeah, I like just playing the right move, but I like subtle good moves, I guess. So I really appreciate subtlety. So whenever I can find ways to do subtle, cool stuff, that's like the coolest thing for me. But oh, he's gonna come in and try to slot this. Do some weird stuff. If I do this lift now, might be premature. I just don't want him to crimp that. Don't want this queen to settle in like this and then loads that. I kind of want to play like this. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, interesting. That's not what I was expecting. That was not what I was expecting. I'll just set up my space. I think I got rid of the main idea here. Hopefully we'll just be playing a nice bullet endgame. That would be ideal. Feel pretty confident in those, usually. I'll see you later. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Good luck on your stream. Hope to see you again. Yeah, I'll be pretty consistent. I'll pop up. Yeah, thanks for checking in, dude. You're super chill. Ooh, that was a big mistake. Now I have mating threats. Ta-da! Oh, hello, welcome. Oh, yeah, he had a huge edge. I was right to be worried about that. But then once the queen was gone, pretty neutral. Ah, I could have done it cleaner. Could have been cleaner. But you can always be cleaner. Oh, this is one of my favorite openings of all time. I like the C4 first idea. Usually they bring out the knight, allow this. So this will be good for me to look at after. It's a nice knight. Probably too nice. I think I'm falling into a trap. It's feeling trappish. We're just gonna not take the pawn. Alright, we're gonna let him take this knight. He can have it. I don't want any of that. Oh, he doesn't want the knight anymore. He's moved on to bigger and better things. I'm just waiting for something to go super bad. I feel like I'm on the hook. Maybe I can shoo him off this knight. Maybe not, but I can try. I can definitely try. That's a good try. Oh, he's persistent. But so am I. Oh, that was smart. I'm trying. I'm going for it. In the business, we call this a full send. For we have to do this. Oh, I forgot I had a Gatorade. Okay. Big threat. Might have got my rook back. He doesn't see it? He doesn't see it. Crazy stuff. Chess is wild. Chess is so wild. Insane. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Yeah, what's the right move here? That's the best. I guess I played it. That was kind of wrong, but yeah, this is all kind of wrong. So, oh, it loves it. It loves it. It's like, not only is this okay, this is sick. But okay, we gotta go back. This whole sequence, I misunderstood apparently. Okay, so what's the best? Oh, add the queen. Pinning this, winning the material, so chasing the queen away was a fool's errand. Oh, that feels good. Wow, that's a crazy win. That is a crazy win. That's crazy. Crazy. Alright, there you go again. I love when the rook sacks are correct. We gonna play? Doesn't look like it. Okay, then I will drink Gatorade. We're playing. Oh, it's a delayed Alapin, I think. I think I can still play this d5 idea against that. Might want to play e5 in this position. Just keep a bind on this. Yeah, I typically, against these c3 shapes, I really like this move. It's fine. This looks good. But here I'll probably play e5. Yeah. I don't have the castle. My position is super solid. I can break the center now, I think. Just don't worry about it. What's the right answer here? Probably just not to move too slow. Do I want to open the file over there or set up for the mate? Probably set up for the mate. Let his queen stay over there for a while. Oh, he's going slow as hell. I think he's just gonna give up. There's a time disparity. That was weird. Very slow. Okay, what's the best? Yeah, it's d5, right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just forgot to do it. Yeah, I had a very strange plan. A lot of shuffling. But it just took a lot of moves and you just couldn't figure out what to do with it, so that's cool. Ignore. I'll underdevelop your knight. Seems like a good deal. Hello. I'm good, how are you? That's good. Alright, well, that's what we know. Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Unclear. That's fine. Yeah, probably this weekend. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds nice. That's fine. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's all good. Talk to you soon. Bye. Let's see. What do we want? I don't like this very much. I'm losing here. After takes and takes, he just goes rook over, and then I lose the piece. Don't even get to enjoy partially losing position. What a tragic game. Probably best just to try to... Well, I'll get checkmated if I try to do that. Oh, we're losing. Nothing to say. Oh, that just to do a recruller. That's funny. Oh, what's the best move? Knight takes, obviously. Can't just let that slide. What's the best? Oh, just keep developing. Oh, interesting. Good to know. Yeah, what a huge mistake here. Coming up in 3, 2. Yeah, totally dead. Gonna snag a break after this one. Pegs are good. Yep. That's super duper duper fair. Wow, this is a break. Yeah. Insane. That's time to take a break. That's what that means. I've never played that line of that. Yeah, I always play Queen here. It's not best? What's the best move then? Oh. D5. So D5 and then takes and then bishop takes. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Was it worthless? Okay, that doesn't even count as a game. That was so short. And then I can snag my little break. Okay. Kind of want to just jump in there. This is pretty bad. 4 isolated pawns against the 2 best pawn structures in the game. I would say that did not go according to plan. That did not go according to plan. Oh, kill me. Okay, okay. I'll do it this way. There's nothing here. There's nothing to play for. Not even the most optimistic of draw chances. Oh, did I just win the knight? Okay. Now we have definitely optimistic draw chances. We might win. Oh, I separated it from the pawn. That was a huge mistake. I think if I were in the more dominant side of this, yeah. We are on the stronger side of that draw. Whoa, from hopeless to life-saving. Where did this game become hopeless? I just like over-exchanged pieces. Yeah, I just had really bad pawns. And then I just forked, yeah, I just got my pieces forked. I think I handled it nicely. Like, I'm really glad that my tilted moves got me to this state. Now we have a nice little draw shape. Did I have winning chances there though? I think I might have fluttered into winning chances. No. Draw was the best I could pull for. Okay. Cool. Alright. I'm gonna snag this break, be kind to myself. my tea. Now I can take my break. Huzzah. Then we'll listen to some music and stuff while we get back.
Walk around in circles, 7 circles every day. Remember everything and everyone you ever knew in every way. Seems such a shame to go ahead and lose your mind. Seems such a shame, but I think I can save your mind with something like this. Ooh. Try something like this. Ooh, 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 ooh. Da da da. Try something like this. So let's walk around in circles, 7 circles every day. Paint them all your favorite colors. Won't lose our heads like all the others. Make them stay. Together find a way to make them stay. Try something like this. 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 in circles every day, forgetting everything and everyone you ever knew in every way. So let 'em fade, and paint them all your favorite shades of gray.
All right. So, I think I'm going to toggle my stream on and off real quick, switch my title, and play some Bullet. Got a Red Bull here. We're gonna listen to some different music, and